This is the complete Shadows of Evil Zombies guide. Everything you need to know of importance that's in Shadows of Evil. Just click on the titles to be taken to the section in the video. If you're on mobile, there is timestamps in the description. And throughout each section, you can hit the glossary button in the top left to, of course, return to this section. If you are brand new to Shadows of Evil, I highly recommend a couple sections you check out. First is going to be the map layout and the power/beast mode. And for everyone, if you haven't heard about it, the 5-in-5 strategy there in the bottom left is a perfect section to check out as well. Now it's time for me to shut up and for you to click on any of these sections to enhance your Shadows of Evil experience. So the map layout for Shadows of Evil is kind of confusing in game, but is really simple on paper. So you basically have your spawn room. Not a lot going on here, but you'll spawn in this, this area. And then if you open the door north, you can think of north, east, southwest. You head into Junction, and Junction is kind of the crossroads that leads you to all three districts. So from spawn you enter Junction, and then immediately east of Junction is our first district, and we call that the Waterfront District. And straight north from Junction, we call that the Footlight District. And there's one third district, I should say, and that's going to be the Western District, and we call that the Canals. So these three districts here, Canals, Footlight, and Waterfront, they're all very similar, and pretty much they're all intertwined. So if you want to pack a punch, you have to do something in Waterfront, and then Footlight, and then Canals. Or if you want to build the shield, you have to find a part in Waterfront and Footlight, and then Canals. So these are the three main areas of the maps where this guide takes place, because you usually have to go to these, each individual district and do something there. Spawn is not really important. Spawn has a few things in it, but not really a reoccurring room you're going to return to. And Junction isn't too important. It's kind of the crossroads that connects you to each of these districts. So, I mean, yeah, you'll visit a lot of time there, but just to cross in each district. Now, there's a sixth and final location. We call that the Rift. And the Rift is actually under the Junction. To get to the Rift, we have to go through a portal. And it's not too important, but the Rift contains some very important things, but it's kind of its own deal. You know what I mean? Like the three districts are all intertwined, and then when you're doing stuff to the Rift, it's all kind of by itself. But that's the layout to Shadows of Evil. It's not very confusing at all. And of course, I've just thrown these rectangles here to represent the gates, and the gates actually have the names of the districts on them. So if you're ever lost, you can just head back to the Junction and look at the titles of the gates, and that'll tell you which district you're going to go to. But yeah, it's not a confusing map when you get a nice top-down version like this. You've pretty much just got three districts and, this junction that connects them all. So in previous Zombies maps, we've just had to find the power switch, turn it on, and pretty much everything gets power. However, in this map, we use a certain thing called Beast Mode. Now, Beast Mode is responsible for the power of the perks, and it's also a tool for a lot of other things that get covered in other section of this guide. So your first experience with Beast Mode will be in Spawn, and you'll see this like purple flame torch, and if you go up to it and press square X, you'll become Beast Mode. Now this is very similar to Afterlife and Mob of the Dead. Now if you look around the map, you'll see these very visible flames around certain objects, and that's what you can interact with and what you're supposed to interact with Beast Mode. Now quickly, the bottom left icon you see right there, that blue symbol, if it's blue, that indicates that you can use Beast Mode. So if you use Beast Mode and you don't have any left, every round you regenerate one Beast Mode. Now if you're playing online with 4 people, you can only hold one Beast Mode, but if you're playing solo, you can actually stack up to 3 Beast Modes. So in one single round, you could potentially use Beast Mode 3 times. So like I said earlier, most Beast Mode interactions are covered in their respectable places in the guide. The one thing I'll show you in this part of the guide is how to open up the stair locations. So when you spawn in, you'll notice that Your first interaction with the stair location is right behind you. You see this gate right there, and how are you supposed to get up the stairs? Well, so there's 5 of these stairs that are initially locked when the game starts and you can't go up them. So to unlock them, every stair location you have to grapple up to higher ground and make your way around to the staircase so you can turn the power generator on, whatever you want to call it. If you just see on screen, you see what I'm doing here. And as soon as I hit that, this staircase opens and becomes available to use. So the second location, if you head to the waterfront district, right on the right, same thing. You'll see the staircase and it's locked and you can't get across. So what do? You go into beast mode, you look up in the sky for something to grapple on, and you make your way around so you can power up the stairs and unlock the gate. To get on with this map. If you're fairly new with the map, like I said, you'll be seeing some really cool things with beast mode on other sections of the guide. So once you think you're ready to learn about them, just head there and you'll learn much more uses for beast mode. This map has 7 perks, so starting with the most obvious one, we'll start with Quick Revive. Quick Revive's always in the spawn, and you can see Quick Revive right here. Now, all 7 perks must have the power turned on, and you do that by becoming the Beast. And if you're unfamiliar with the Beast, there's a section of the glossary you can go to that'll explain everything. And as you can see, I'm running over here and turning on Stamina up 2. You can see the power box, and that's how you turn these perks on. Now the next 3 perks I'll show you are Juggernog, Speed Cola, and Double Tap. Now these 3 perks change locations every time you play Shadows of Evil, but there is a way to know where they are. Each one will spawn in one of the 3 districts. And as you can see, I'm just in Junction outside the districts, and I'm looking on these boxes. So you can see this yellow this box with a yellow vial on it. That means that Double Tap is in this district. If I head over to the canals, I see a red vial on top of that box. That means Juggernog is in that district. And the 3rd district, I see a green vial. That means Speed Cola is over there. So where are these perks located within these districts? Well, let's take a look at Footlight. So once again, there's the yellow vial, yellow obviously representing the Double Tap perk. So I'll show you the perk location. Now keep in mind, like I said, these 3 perks are intertwined and they'll switch amongst each other each game you play, but the perk machine is always located in the same spot. So there's Speed Cola, or there's Double Tap. It could have very well easily been Speed Cola or Juggernog, one of those 3 perks, and the next game you play, that one will probably spawn there. So the 2nd district I'll show you is the canals, and I saw a red vial on that box. That means that Juggernog's over there. So if I take this path to the perk machine, I should find Juggernog in its place. And sure enough, on the left, there's Juggernog. And the last random perk, if I head over to the waterfront, I see a green vial. That means Speed Cola must be in this district. So if I head to the perk machine, sure enough, there's Speed Cola. So those are the 3 random perks that'll spawn. Now the other 3 perks are in fixed locations and will always be there. The 5th perk we'll talk about is Stamina Up, and that's just on the back wall of Junction. And the other 2 perks are in the Rift. Here we have Mule Kick. If you don't know how to get to the Rift, there's a section in the glossary to open up this area. And last but not least, we have Widow's Wine, a brand new perk, and we're going to explain further in detail what this perk's all about. Widow's Wine costs 4,000 points. It's a very defensive perk that's going to help you out in sticky situations, and next to Juggernog is up there with the most important perks. You definitely want Widow's Wine. Alright, so what does it do? Well, when you buy Widow's Wine, the first thing you might notice is your grenades have become different grenades. So Widow Wine's effect takes place when zombies hit you, but it only takes place if you have grenades in your inventory, and for each time a zombie hits you, 1 grenade gets used. So you can think of it as you pretty much have 4 recharges, because you can hold 4 grenades. Alright, so I keep talking about this effect, so what exactly is it? Well, when a zombie hits you, a chain of spiderweb will actually shoot out around you, kind of like electric cherry. And as you can see, all zombies within that radius become frozen and can't really attack you. And any zombies that's frozen has a chance to drop this power up when you kill it. So remember how I earlier said that this effect only takes place if you have grenades, and each time this effect is used, 1 grenade is used up. This is how you replenish those grenades, and therefore can continue to benefit from Widow's Wine and use that effect. So it's a good idea to pick up these drops, because then Widow's Wine will keep working for you. Remember, if you have no grenades, it's pretty much like you don't have Widow's Wine at all. This effect will not work, and if you're training and relying on Widow's Wine to help you in those sticky situations, it's not going to work and you will go down. So while it's a good idea to keep those grenades replenished, what if by chance you just ran out, you couldn't get the drops, and you've got no grenades left? How do you get Widow's Wine? Well, you can wait for a new round to start, and as we know, each time a round ends or starts, you get 2 grenades. You can also knife zombies to apply that spider web effect and slow them down. You know, that Widow's Wine effect. So as you can see, if I'm out of grenades, I can knife this zombie, and the effect has been applied to him. And now if I kill that zombie, there might be a chance that he drops the grenade drop. And as you can see, I kill him right there, and there's a Widow's Wine drop. So I can go run to that and pick up. And you know, you want to make sure you always have Widow's Wine, and it's a very confusing perk to explain. My head's kind of going all over the place as I'm talking about it. But that's pretty much the gist of it. It helps you in training, it helps you in those sticky situations, and unless you're dealing with a Margwa. Alright, so around the map you'll see these, they're called pods, and they look like little plants, and they come in 3 colors. This one's red, but they also come in green and purple. So you can actually harvest these plants and get certain things from them. So to harvest them you need the Fumigator. Now right off spawn there's actually 3 locations for the Fumigator to spawn. The first one will be in the back of the truck right here. If it's not there, the second location it could be is directly behind you in between these 2 windows. And if it's not there, it must be in its 3rd location, which is just resting on this box right here. So now that you have your Fumigator, you can harvest these pods. And earlier, as I was saying, they come in 3 different colors, green, red, and purple. This one was red and just turned into a purple pod. So purple is actually the best type of pod, which means you'll get the best reward from it. However, purple is the very end of their life cycles. So when you start the game, you'll probably see green pods. Now, green pods are pretty shitty. They vary in vastly different rewards. As you saw, I got a grenade from that pod. You can get a Shiva or one of the burst pistols. Now, if you wait a few rounds, those green pods will quickly grow into red pods. And red pods are kind of similar to green pods. You're not really going to get too much special. Just looking at power-ups, maybe a weapon here or there. But purple pods is pretty much what you want. So wait a few more rounds and those red pods will become purple. And as I've said, purple are the best pods. So you're looking at getting some power-ups. Also some cool weapons like the Haymaker. But the biggest thing about the purple pods is it is a step in crafting the Apothicon Servant, where you get the Margwa tentacle from it. So it's best to just let your pods grow to purple and then deal with them there. So Margwas are the boss zombies for Shadows of Evil. They appear randomly about every 6 rounds, or when you're doing steps like upgrading the sword like you see here. If you're going to kill these Margwas by shooting them, the best weapons are the Haymaker or the Ray Gun. So how do you kill these bad boys? Well, Margwas spawn in with 3 heads. Now right when this section started, I blasted this one particular Margwa's center head, so now he's just got 2 heads left. The one on the left, the one on the right. So how do you kill these heads of his? Well, you have to wait until their mouths are open. If you look closely, and it's a lot easier to see in game than the still image, the head on the right, its mouth is open and there's this big ball of yellow, I don't know what it is, but it's basically saying, yeah, shoot me, bitch. So, challenge accepted, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. So now he only has 1 head left. So each time you shoot one of their heads, you should take a few steps back. Just run back for about 5 seconds, because they won't open their mouths right immediately after you shoot them in the mouth. You gotta wait 5 seconds. So it's best to shoot them in the head, you can see the mouths open, and then take a few steps back. So I'm running back, and now I'm gonna wait. So now this Margwa's coming after me, see, no mouths are open, right there his mouth's open. Take a few shots, Now quickly, one last thing I forgot to mention. Margwas will get faster each time you shoot the heads. So when they spawn in and you haven't shot any of their heads, they will be nice and slow, so just take your time. And as soon as you start picking off their heads one by one, they will get gradually faster. But when they spawn, they will be slow, so don't panic. And so they're pretty easy to take out. However, in the middle of a round, when you got a bunch of zombies around you, it can get a little tricky. So I'm going to show you another method you can use to kill these guys. So let's say you're down in the rift training, because it's a good spot to train, or wherever you are on the map, and you've got this Margwa spawning, and you don't want to deal with him because there's too many zombies around you. Well, what I like to do is, if I'm in the rift, I like to take this one particular portal to the waterfront district, and you'll see the Margwa will come and follow me and spawn right in that corner. Now once he spawns, I'm going to run to the Silver Protector switch right here, and if you don't know what the Silver Protector is, there's a glossary. And as he spawns in, he's going to land on the Margwa and instantly kill it. And you don't have to deal with any of its bullshit. It's just amazing. So how to pack a punch. Pack a punch is a pretty long process in this map, which is why it's best to get it out of the way as soon as possible. So here I'm doing the first part, literally right when the game starts. First you want to make sure that that opening gate is opened, and then you're just going to go into beast mode. You're going to slash this box on the back of the truck, run your way straight north and zap that electrical box, grapple up on this building, and make your way to the electric box, and that's going to open up the staircase. So now let's go pick up our summoning key and the first ritual item. I think this is the lawyer's pen or something. And now we can start the first of 4 rituals. So just run to the back of the spawn room and climb up that staircase and place your 2 items here. So you have to do this 4 times in 4 different rooms. Basically, once the ritual starts, you're locked in the room, and these gatekeeper zombies will spawn, as well as other zombies. So, you know, this is why you want to do it as early as possible. But just keep running around dodging. As you can see, I don't have a Juggernog, and wait for the ritual to be finished and pick up your first gateworm. So for the second ritual, and once again, it doesn't matter which order you do these in, but I'm going to head over to the waterfront area, and right at the gate, I'm just going to go into beast mode. And I'm going to grapple all the way up to this tall building. I'm going to knife the box and take a running jump and run all the way down to the bottom of the docks. Here I can open up the door so I can later do the ritual. So now it's just a matter of picking up the picking up the piece from the box we knifed, the championship belt, and making my way to the ritual room. So now it's pretty routine. You just place your items on the ritual table, the ritual will start, and just stay alive for about 30 seconds. I believe a Margwa boss zombie will spawn after this one. If you're a little confused how to handle those, just check out the guide. But still pretty straightforward, and grab your second gateworm. For the third ritual, we're going to head to the Footlight District now. And pretty similar to the last one, go into beast mode. We're going to grapple up on this tall building. Take a running start to the ledge over here. Knock the box down by knifing it. Through this little hallway, long ass grapple, and electric boss. Zap that. Pick up the third item, the one that dropped from the box. And now we're going to head to the ritual room. And same thing. Place the items on the table, complete the ritual, and grab your third gateworm. Alright, the last and final gateworm, we're going to head to the cannels. Open the door, and directly to your right, you'll see a beast mode thing here. Take a 180. And this one, kind of got to be quick on your toes here. We're going to jump down into this little swamp area. We're going to knife that box. Make your way over. Zap this electrical box. And then try to grapple all the way up there. It's kind of hard to get a lock on. It takes me a few tries there, so I really got to book it now. And just run downstairs and zap the box. And just like before, we're going to go pick up our 4th item. Cop badge, maybe, I think it is. Detective's badge. Make your way into this building. And the final ritual. This one's a pretty easy one, lots of space to dodge. So, wait for the ritual to end and pick up your fourth and final gateworm. So now we need to head to the rift, and if you have no idea where the rift is, you can go back to the guide and watch. Or I can just show you one of 3 ways to get to the rift. I'm in the candles here, I'm just going to go into beast mode, and I'm going to break open this door. Now when I'm back in my human form, I can go over here and open the portal. And I can enter to the rift. Once I'm at the rift, I'll get these keepers, about 4 of them spawning, so I'm just going to take them out pretty easily here. And then I'm just going to make my way to this wall with all these signs on them, and all I have to do is just stand in front of it and wait for the wall to disappear. Now I can start the final ritual, and how I do that is I put all 4 of the gateworms we've just collected on these little thingamajigers in all 4 corners of the map. Have to wall run to the other side, which is not as risky as it may seem. So there's the second gateworm, the third gateworm. And I did this in an inefficient order, but you get the idea here. You can jump across the middle or wall run back again. There we go, all 4. So now all 4 gateworms have been placed. We can head to the ritual table in the very entrance of this new found room. And the last ritual will start. And this is probably the easiest of them all. Lots of area to just run around and just wait until the timer ends. Once it does, we can now pack a punch. Directly on the other side of the room, you'll see this little blue thing. And there you go, pack a punch. Alternate ammo types. Once you pack a punch your weapon, you can actually pack a punch it again for 2,500 points. And you can get 1 of 5 alternate ammo types. So right here, when I receive my weapon, you'll see in the bottom right corner that I have a new icon with a new word there. And this one is the Fireworks alternate ammo type. So this is 1 of 5. I'll show you all 5. Just briefly, when you're shooting zombies, there is a high chance that the alternate ammo type effect gets initialized. And these effects have pretty much made all guns useless. It's all about the ammo type you have now. So the first one we have is Blast Furnace. This is one of my favorites, one of 2 of my favorites. Blast Furnace has a recharge rate of 15 seconds, which means the effect can only be activated at most every 15 seconds. This works really good when you're training zombies, and as you can see, you shoot a horde of zombies, a big burst of flame will appear, and any zombies within that radius of that flame will be killed after about 2 to 3 seconds of burning. As well, you get a shit ton of points for using Blast Furnace. And just adding on my earlier point, as you can see, these ammo types are just really powerful. 1 bullet from any gun, even the Shiva, can kill an entire horde of 10 zombies. So they've completely changed the way Black Ops 3 Zombies is played. The second one, and also one of my favorites, is Deadwire. Deadwire has a 5-second recharge rate, which is way faster than all the other 5. Deadwire works similar to the Wonder Waffle from World at War, where zombies within the same radius get chained by lightning and they all become electrocuted. And just as a side note, similar to the Wonder Waffle, any zombies killed by the Deadwire effect will not drop power-ups, nor will they recharge your specialist weapon. Next we have Fireworks. Fireworks has a 30-second recharge time. When activated, shooting a zombie will cause an exact replica of the weapon you're using to spawn and shoot bullets everywhere. So as you see, I'm using the Haymaker, so whenever Fireworks is initialized, a Haymaker spawns and just starts shooting bullets in every direction. Fireworks is pretty powerful, although it doesn't really give you any points, and is best used with powerful weapons like the DSR. Our 4th upgrade is going to be Turned. Turned has a 15-second recharge time. This upgrade is pretty straightforward. When it initializes, the zombie you shoot will actually become friendly and start attacking other zombies. I don't use this one too much, but it can be helpful as your friendly zombie kind of blocks the path and just kind of makes it a little more difficult for the zombies to get to you. The last upgrade we have is Thunderwall. Thunderwall has a 15-second recharge time, and while being pretty useful, I just find the other ammo types to be a lot better. Therefore, I don't use this one too much. Thunderwall basically acts as the thunder gun from previous zombie games, and when you shoot a zombie, basically just blasts them backwards. So getting to the rift is this area underground you see here right now, and this is a very important area as this is the area you're going to need to go to for pretty much every step or everything in this glossary. So initially, to get to the rift, there are 3 portals you can use to get there, 1 in each of the districts. So here I'm outside the waterfront district, and I'm just going to open this area up, and we're going to have to go to beast mode for all 3 portals. So in beast mode, you're just going to go over to this little hallway, and you should see a beast mode symbol, or whatever you want to call it, an interactive symbol, and then we can smash that door open. So once we're out of beast mode, we can go back to that room, and we can just go and open the portal by pressing X. Now we can head to the rift, but first let's open up the other 2 portals. So the next one here is in the Footlight District. This would be the second of the 3 portals. And once again, just like last time, you'll see this door in this little hallway, and we can just go ahead and open up the portal. Now the 3rd portal, the final one, is going to be in the canals. This one's kind of tucked away under the swampy river area. So once again, just follow this path to the door, melee the door open, so that we can open it. So now that I've showed you all the 3 portal locations, let's actually enter the portal and take a look at the rift. So when you arrive at the rift, you'll have 4 keepers try to attack you. No big deal, they're pretty, just knife them, finish them off. And once you're done with that, you have the rift. So the rift is pretty important because, as I said earlier, it contains a lot of steps for the things in the glossary. But it's also a nice shortcut, so instead of running from district to district through the junction, you can actually take these portals and teleport right into the district. There's 3 of them, so all 3 portals will take you directly to the district. There's a lot of running around in this map, so it's nice to have the rift as kind of the middleman to take you from district to district. So as you can see, I'm in the Footlight right here. I can head back to the rift, and I can go to the canals or the waterfront just like that. Now the very last thing about the rift is that, yeah, we have the 3 portals to come to the rift, but now there's actually one last method of getting to the rift. So if we enter beast mode and head up to the upstairs area, here we can see meal kick. I'm just going to turn that on quickly. But there's actually a power box here that we can hit, and this is going to open up this room straight to the junction. This is the area right out of spawn. So not only do you have the 3 portals to get to the rift, we can actually just head down that staircase now and enter the rift right out of spawn, right from the junction. So where I like to train in this map is in the rift. There's a few tight corners, but all in all it's pretty open. Just run around with a blast furnace or dead wire alternate ammo type. But I don't want to focus too much on this spot. This spot's good if you're just trying to casually playing or maybe playing with a buddy or 2 and you need somewhere to be. But if you really want to make it to the high rounds, you should really try the 5 and 5 strategy, which is the very next section in the glossary. It is so much better, but like I said, if you're just looking for something a little casual, nothing too extreme, this is probably the most open spot to be in, and you've got all 3 portals for easy escapes, and yeah, not much to it. So this is the 5 and 5 strategy, or the waterfront strategy. Pretty much anyone going for high round attempts on solo is going to use this strategy. It's such an insane location to be because the zombies spawn in so rapidly and the rounds go by so fast. If you're going to be going for high rounds, you're definitely going to want to do this. So how do we do this? Well, there's a few requirements. So in the early rounds, you're going to want to set up properly. You're going to want to get the Apothicon Servant, the upgraded sword, the zombie shield, pretty much everything in the glossary. But along with that, you have to keep this initial waterfront gate closed. This door cannot be opened at all. And right on the other side of this fence is where you're going to be standing and doing the zombie killing. So how do we get over there if we can't open the gate? Well, all you have to do is just take one simple tram ride over to the waterfront. So head to the canals or Footlight and call the train if it's not there. Get on the train and set the destination to waterfront. So we're going to travel there. And once the train arrives, we're officially in waterfront. So we took the train over to the waterfront, and now you can see we're on the other side of that fence. So it's kind of painful to take the train ride to and from the waterfront every time you want to leave, because you got to do a lot of running around in this map, and you don't want to do that. So you can just open up the rift portal here and just take the rift every time you want to go to waterfront. You should be using the rift portals anyways. It's just way faster than walking across the map. and once you're in the rift, you can open up the 3 portals to go to the waterfront, footlight, and the canals. So there's your efficient way to get to the waterfront area while still keeping that gate closed. So keep the gate closed and then get all your stuff. The Apothicon Servant, Pack-a-Punch, Lil Arnies, upgraded sword, all that fun stuff. So the actual strategy itself is a little different than what you're typically used to in terms of training and running a circle with zombies. They're pretty much going to come at you full force. Now you can do like little mini trains as you see me do right here, but once the situation gets sticky, just throw down the Apothicon Servant, and the zombies that spawn in so fast, it just kills so many of them because they just keep coming and coming and coming, and that's pretty much all there is to it. Every 6 rounds when the Margwa spawns, you can head down that hallway and call in the Civil Servant to insta-kill the Margwa. There's a little more in-depth on that in the Margwa section of the glossary, but pretty much this is all it is. Also, the alchemical anesthesis, whatever you want to call it, gobblegum, is super important. It's pretty much a free max ammo whenever you want it, and that's all there is to it. It's pretty straightforward. Just follow the things and get the things I told you to do, and you'll be headed to the high rounds in no time. So to build the zombie shield, we need 3 pieces. Each of those 3 pieces will be in each of the 3 districts. So starting with the waterfront district, we'll find the first piece of our zombie shield. So the first location for the first piece is going to be up this staircase and just hiding to the left right by these boxes here. So that's the first location it could be. If it's not there, just keep heading straight. And the second location is going to be right under this window here to the right. And lastly, the third and final location for the first piece is going to be hiding near the doorway here, just in this rubble. Now for the second piece of the shield, we're going to head to the footlight district. And once again, all 3 zombie shield pieces are in the staircase areas of each of the districts. So the first location is just going to be to the left there, sitting by that bench. If it's not there, then it might be located just beside the perk machine on that railing there. And the last location this second piece might be will be in this room, sitting on this little chair to the left. Now the third and final part to the zombie shield, the first location is going to be once again up this staircase area of this district, and right around the corner, hanging on this wall right there. If it's not there, just keep making your way through the room, and across the bridge right here, you'll see it on the left, hanging on the railing. And if it's not there, it must be in the last location, which is going to be in this room, right on the window to the right there. So now we have all 3 pieces. So now we can actually build the zombie shield. I like to build it in the waterfront workbench because the best strategy for Shadows of Evil in terms of training solo is in fact in the waterfront area. So it's nice to have the shield where I'll usually train and where you should usually train for high rounds. Now, apart from the usual shield protecting you on your back and using it to smash zombies, it actually has a rocket feature, as you can see right there. And it also can be upgraded, which of course will be covered in another section. Alright, so we need to find 3 fuses to access the Civil Protector. And similarly to the zombie shield, the fuses are going to be in each of the 3 districts. So starting in the waterfront district, I will show you the first fuse and its 3 locations. And all 3 fuses are on kind of like the upper balcony skyline bridged areas. I don't know how to explain it, but I'll just show you. So the waterfront fuse location, the first location it could be is right on this barrel right here. If it's not there, then it might be in the second location, which is just going to be keep going across the bridge and right on this railing right here. And if it's not there, it must be in its third possible location, which is going to be resting on these boxes right there. So that's the first fuse. The second fuse you're going to find in the footlight, and once again up on these high bridged skyline area. The first location will be right in this barrel. If it's not there, the second location this second fuse could be is just along this bridge resting on this pillar. And if it's not there either, it must be in its third and final location, hiding on the ground right in this corner area. Alright, so for the third and final fuse, we're going to head to the canals, and just beyond the perk machine room, you'll find the first location on this box. If it's not there, the second location is just a few steps down, resting on this cart. And if it's not there, it must be in its very last location, just a few steps down on this corner. So there's all 3 fuses. So now we can take these 3 fuses to the rift, and you'll see this box in the corner of the room right here. So just press square X and you'll place all of your 3 fuses in there. And now we have the ability to summon the Civil Protector. Now the Civil Protector can be summoned from each of the 3 districts as well as Junction. To summon him, you'll see a red box with a green light on top of it. That means he's ready to go. So just go up to the box. It costs 2,000. I also believe you can put money in there, kind of like a bank, so you can summon him even if you had 0 coins later on in the game. Now the Civil Protector does what any good friend does. It kills zombies for you, it picks up power-ups, it can even revive you, but probably the most redeeming quality of the Civil Protector is its ability to one-shot the Margwa boss zombies, and to see that there's a section on the Margwas where you can see that in action. The Apothicon Sword. So the Apothicon Sword is the specialist weapon for this map, and the first step to getting it is going to one of the trains, and I like to head to the canals train. I don't know why I like to start it here. You can start wherever. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to call the train, and I'm going to show you right here. This map has 3 question marks on it, and each of those question marks is going to be a symbol, and we're going to need to see those symbols, remember those symbols, and use it to kind of get our first step to the sword here. So as you see, I just called the tram over here, and if I look back on the map, you can see that yellow dot. That's us right now. So we're in the canals, and that's where we are right now. So if I pause the video here, we can see that the tram takes us to 3 places. It takes us to the canals, which we are right now. It can take us to the waterfront district, and it can take us to the footlight district. So there's 3 destinations. So if I go to the waterfront station, you can see if I follow the train path, I will come across 2 question marks, and both of those question marks are on the left of the tram. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the tram to the waterfront station, and I'm going to look out the left side of the tram and try to see those 2 question marks. So I head in the tram, I look where it's going, it says waterfront, good, that's where I want to go, and I pay 500 coins to travel there. So now I just look outside the left side of the tram, and keep in mind that these symbols are located in the same spot every time, except the symbols are different. So I'm playing solo. There's the first symbol. I pause the game so I can, I don't know, take a picture or write it down. If you're playing online, you can't pause it obviously, so you just gotta remember what you see, and they go pretty fast, so make sure you get a good look. So if you're playing solo, it's obviously very easy, you just have to pause in time. So that was the first one, but remember the map said there was 2. So I wait for the second one, and I've played this map quite a few times, so I know where the symbols are located, but like I said, the symbols change every time, but the location doesn't. And there's the last symbol, a single arrowhead, so that's an easy one to remember. And now we arrive at the waterfront station. So that's 2 out of the question marks done, or 2 symbols we saw, but remember there's 3 question marks, so we need to get that 3rd one. So those bottom 2 question marks we got, and now I need to get that 3rd one right there, and that's at Footlight District. So the yellow light shows us that we're at waterfront. So now I need to head to the Footlight. So the same thing. I don't want to go to canals, I want to go to Footlight. So I change the destination and I pay 500 coins. And now this question mark is on the right side of the tram. So there is the symbol we saw from our last train ride. We don't need that one again. We already got that one. We just need the 3rd and final symbol. So I'm just looking outside the tram on the right side, and I know, from playing the map, I know where the symbol should pop up, and there it is right there. So I paused it a little late, but at the same time I still kind of got a good sight of it. So write it down, and you've got all 3 symbols now. Now we need to head to the Rift. If you don't know how to get here, just go to the glossary and watch the Rift section. But if you do, you're going to come into Beast Mode, and you're going to see on the wall here are the symbols, and we have to zap the 3 symbols that we saw on our tram ride. So here I am just carefully making sure I pick the right ones. And if you get them all right, the wall opens up, and after we exit Beast Mode, we can go up to this section and grab our Apothicon egg. And now we need to charge this egg. So you will need to charge your egg in 4 different locations. The first one is in canals, and if you go in Beast Mode, you'll see this box right here. And you have to go into Beast Mode to knife the box, and you'll unravel this weird statue. So all you do is you go up to it, and you place your egg there. And now we've done this in other zombies maps, is you just have to kill zombies around the egg and basically charge up the egg. So I think you got to kill about 10-15 zombies. As you can see, each time you kill them, that blue stuff starts charging up the egg. Eventually it'll stop, you'll hear a ping, and you can pick up the egg and go on to the next location. Once again, it doesn't matter which order you do them, these are just the 4 locations. So the second one is going to be in the Footlight District. And once again, I'm going to go in beast mode, see this box right here, smack it, place my egg there, and now kill 10 to 15 zombies until the blue stuff stops. So pick up the egg, let's go to the third slot. So the third location is going to be in the Waterfront District, keeping with the common theme of each district having, you know, one thing to do with each. And I've already destroyed the box there, but same thing, go into beast mode, destroy the box, and put the egg there, and just start killing. Now the fourth and final location is actually going to be in the Rift, where we started this nonsense. Come beast mode, there's the box, destroy it, and charge it up. After killing enough zombies, we can pick it up, and the egg icon should be nice bright blue. We can take it back here, place it, and then we can go and pick up a Apothicon Sword. And the sword acts as a specialist weapon from multiplayer, so you pretty much just have to get kills, and then once it's fully charged you can use it. There is a way to upgrade the sword, but that will be covered in another section of the video. Crafting the Apothicon Servant, or the Wonder Weapon, you're going to need 3 parts. The first one is a Margwa Heart, I believe that's what it's called. Anyways, this is going to drop from the very first Margwa you kill, and as you can see I'm on round 3, working my way on the Pack-a-Punch. So as early as round 3, so this is probably the first piece of the Wonder Weapon you're going to get. So just kill the first Margwa. If you don't happen to pick up the Margwa Heart and it despawns, it'll just spawn again the next time you kill a Margwa. But as you can see right there floating is the first piece. The second piece you're probably going to run into is the Margwa Tentacle, and this can be found by harvesting pods when they have finally become purple. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, there is a pod/fumigator section in the glossary, but as you play the game, these pods will go from green to red to purple. Purple is like when they're the best, and you just gotta harvest them and hope you get a Margwa Tentacle. And the final piece is going to drop from one of the special zombies, either one of the flying things or the meatballs that roll around. And you're usually going to get these on the boss round because that's when these things are coming at you full effect. And this third piece just drops randomly. Sometimes it takes up to round 20, sometimes you get it like round 15, and as you can see it's right there. So unfortunately a lot of randomness to this last piece. So now once you have all 3 pieces, we need to craft it. I like to head to the Footlight building table because it's kind of out of the way and it's not a waste of a table. And there you have it, the Apothicon Servant. Arguably one of the best wonder weapons ever made. Basically you just want to take it out when you got a huge horde of zombies, as it just kills everything in its path, and it's kind of acts as a monkey too. You got like 5-10 seconds of just immunity because they all get sucked up in there. But as you can see, it just destroys everything. Now there is no way to upgrade this weapon in this map, however if you do want to upgrade it, you're going to have to play the last Zombies map, Revelations. Lil Arnies are a brand new special grenade type you can get from the mystery box. They have a very small chance of popping up in the mystery box, but if you do get them, wow, hold on to your horses. They work pretty much the same as monkey bombs from other past Call of Duty games. You basically throw them down and they will attract zombies for I think about 15 seconds, I believe. 15-20, something like that. And they just obliterate any zombie that comes within it, so a very useful piece of equipment to have if you're so fortunate enough to get it from the box. There is a way to upgrade the Lil Arnies, and that of course is covered in another section. Upgrading the sword. So to upgrade the sword, you need to have the sword obviously, and to have done Pack-a-Punch and unlock that room and all that stuff. So after you've done all that, head to your character's ritual room. I'm Jackie, so I'm heading to this room. If you're the magician, that's the spawn room. If you're the boxer, that's the docks. If you're the girl, it's the district. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just head to each of the 4 ritual rooms until you see what I see, and that is a ghost that's going to hand you an egg if you go up and press X to her. So just like before, we need to charge this egg. However, we're not charging it by killing zombies, we're charging it by killing Margwas. And there's these 4 circles. Sometimes they light up, sometimes they don't. There's 4 of these circles located all across the map. And here's the first one, which is the Cannels one, which is located right outside the ritual room. So we should be able to go up and press X, or square if you're on PlayStation, and 1 or 2 Margwas will spawn. Now, before you do this, you want to make sure that you have a setup to kill Margwas. They're pretty easy to kill if you have the right weapon. Haymaker or a ray gun is going to be absolutely perfect in destroying these guys. Makes it very easy. As you can see, one shot to the open mouth is going to kill them. So that was the first location. The second one is going to be in the junction, so, you know, the room that connects everything. And depending on how prepared you are, the setup you have, you might want to wait until the end of the rounds to do this. Killing these Margwas are not going to be easy in the middle of a round, so, but if you can handle it, you can handle it, whatever. And keep in mind, you can only do one of these per round, so it's going to take you a minimum of 4 rounds. And if you go down during one of them, you got to wait till the next round. So another thing to do early on in the game before it gets too hard. So the third location, the waterfront location, is going to be down by the docks, right outside the ritual room. And 2 Margwas again. So I'm just going to point here that I felt pretty confident with my setup. I had Perkaholic going here. And as you can see, things get pretty wild and I go down. So like I said earlier, if you do go down, you have to wait until the next round to try again. The Margwas will despawn and you've just got to survive until the next round. So like I said, make sure you got perks, make sure you've got a proper weapon, and a zombie shield is going to help so much. And our last and final location is going to be in the Footlight District, right outside the Burlesque Ritual Room. And once again, kill the Margwas. After that, head back to the room where you initially got your egg from, one of the 4 ritual rooms. And then all you have to do is go up to the ghost, press X, and she will give you a keeper sword, I guess it's called, the upgraded sword. So this is a really good weapon. It's definitely worth the time and effort to, you know, putting it in. My favorite uses for it are, I think you press left trigger and it does like a big smash, and then the sword actually flies around and kills zombies, while you also have another sword in your hand and killing zombies yourself. So it's a pretty fun weapon to use, and it's very, very good. Upgrading the Lil Arnies. So to upgrade these Lil Arnies, it's not a very complicated process at all. First, you need to get 100 kills with Lil Arnies. In my experience, it takes about 5 to 6 of these grenades to get about 100 kills. So you'll need a max ammo somewhere in there. As far as audio cues, I didn't hear any, but just try to group up some zombies and it's going to take about 5 to 6 groups. So after you get 100 kills, you're going to head to 3 ritual rooms. The first one is going to be the spawn ritual room, and you see this mannequin with the top hat on it. What you got to do is throw down a Lil Arnie, and you will see that the top hat is actually disappeared now. So we need to do this in 2 other ritual rooms. The second location is going to be the waterfront ritual room, the boxing arena. And once again, it doesn't matter which order you do these in, just as long as you get all 3 done. You're going to go in the back locker area, and you should see a bow tie or something right there on the shelf. Once again, throw down a Lil Arnie, and you will now see that the bow tie has disappeared. The last location is the Canals ritual room. And right on this couch, you see a cane. So, same process, throw down the Arnie. Don't throw it too far, else you'll get it taken away. And there you see the cane is gone now. Once you have done all 3 locations, head to the Footlight Ritual Room, the Burlesque area. And for the final time, throw a Lil Arnie on the stage, and you'll get a little show. So once that's over with, you should have upgraded Lil Arnies. You'll notice now that if you throw them, there's a nice purple glow to them instead of the greenish yellow. And they're pretty much just upgraded in every way. They last longer, they'll kill zombies faster. But a pretty cool little trick to do for a very, very useful weapon. Upgrading the zombie shield. So to do this, it's pretty straightforward. You need to line up some zombies and rocket boost through at least 10 of them, and you need to do this 10 times, so you're gonna have to kill 100 zombies in total. It's not as easy as it sounds. I mean, it gets easier on the later rounds when the zombies are faster and they can group up a lot easier, But anyways, when you're doing this, you'll know you have killed 10 or more zombies if you hear this bowling strike sound. If you hear that, you know you're 1 out of 10 done. So if you look in the bottom right corner there, you'll see a number. Right there it's 3, and that's how many rocket boosts I have right now. And each time you do this, obviously you lose one. So you need to do this 10 times, which means 3's not enough. So if you run out of rocket boosts, you can actually just start hitting zombies with your shield, or letting them hit you while the shield's on the back. Just break the shield and go grab a new one, and then those 3 rocket boosts will actually recharge. So how do you know when you're done? On your 10th and final one, you'll hear a bunch of cheering, and I'll just let you guys listen to see what that sounds like. So I don't know if you could hear it clearly in that chaos of zombies and Widow's Wine going off, but another thing is if you look in the bottom right corner again, you'll see that you now have 4 boosts instead of 3. So now you have an upgraded shield, you get that 1 extra rocket boost, but more importantly, you have a shield now with more health, so it's going to last a lot longer. The Margwa Mask. So to get this, you're going to need to have gotten the sword and upgraded it, as well as Pack-a-Punch, and you're going to need a ray gun. Well, it's going to make it a lot easier. Alright, let's just pause here for a second. What we're doing here is we're going to take the train, and we're going to try to shoot 6 Margwa hearts while we're on the train. Now we're going to start this in Waterfront, so get the train to Waterfront, and then we're going to set the train to Footlight District. So from Waterfront, we're going to go to Footlight. Alright, we're going to start the train, and there should be 4 hearts on this particular train ride we're going to shoot at. Here's the first one, literally right when you start the train ride, so be ready for this one. And all we gotta do is shoot it with the ray gun. So this one's fairly easy, you should get that no problem. The second one follows immediately after. Once again, give that a nice pop with the ray gun. Now the third one, we gotta wait a little bit. It's gonna be on the top left corner of this billboard sign here. Now I couldn't quite get a good picture of this paused as you can see, but in game it's a little clearer. So once again, just shoot it. And now we're coming up on the fourth one, which is immediately after again. Another tricky little one to see, but it's resting right on the H of that theater sign. Now the fifth one is an absolute bitch, but you have 2 chances at it because it's nearly impossible to get it here. I mean, you can try to get it on this turn, but probably not going to happen. But that's okay, because remember, this Margwa Mask requires 2 train rides, so we're going to try to get it on the way back. So we just came from Waterfront, and we came to Footlight. Now that we're in Footlight, our next train ride, we're going to go to the Canals. So we're going to have to wait for the train to recharge. Once it does, make sure we're set to Canals, and let's get the 2 remaining hearts done. Just pausing one last time here, don't underestimate how hard this last heart is to actually hit with the ray gun. It took me about 5 or 6 tries. I feel the best way is to line up in the back right window and just aim like I'm doing right now to prepare yourself. So here we are coming up around the turn here, and there's one last look at the Margwa heart. Now it's pretty much impossible to know if you actually hit it, but we'll soon find out on this 6th and final heart. So we got a nice little break to, I don't know, gather our thoughts before we get this 6th and final heart. And once again, just like the other ones, except for that last heart, this one's pretty routine, kind of far away, but nonetheless pretty easy to hit. You can see it kind of hiding in that top left area. Now as soon as I unpause this video and hit this heart with my ray gun, you're going to hear a scream that notifies that we hit all 6 and we can go down and get the Margwa Mask. If you don't hear the scream, you're actually going to have to repeat the entire process over. The hearts will all respawn, and you're going to need to start back from scratch all the way back at Waterfront. So hopefully you hear the scream. So if you hear that scream, that means the mask has spawned in one of the 4 ritual rooms, and we have to go pick it up, and let's show you these 4 locations. So for me, it spawned in the burlesque ritual room, and you should see a little twinkle. As you can see, that little twinkle right there, and then we go up to it and just press square X to pick up the mask. Now here are the other locations. This one's in the boxing ring, and you'll see a little twinkle under the locker. Obviously I don't see one because I already have my mask. The 3rd location is going to be in the Canals ritual room, and it's going to be on the very top floor on the 2nd balcony in this little corner. Once again, look for the twinkle. And finally, in the spawn ritual room, it should be on this table right over there. So now that you have the mask, it's not a very important thing to do. I would never do it every game, maybe once or twice thing. It's going to protect you, give you a little extra padding against Margwa slams when they get up close and personal. Once again, I don't recommend doing this every game. It's kind of fun to do it once or twice, but there's my shadow with the mask on.